Hey dear students, welcome back to e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Wardha. I'm Assistant Professor Rajeshwari Sharma and this lecture is for the BCom Sem 6 for the subject Advanced Statistics. So, as far as the subject is concerned, under this we are dealing with our second unit. Now, we are on the urge of ending our second unit, that is regression analysis. Today we are going to discuss the type 3 problems under this chapter. And what is the basic theme or the central idea of type 3 problem over here is when group data or the bivariate frequency table is given in the problem. So what is bivariate frequency distribution table or what is the group data that we have seen in the at the time of correlation analysis as well. So we are just going to take a brief explanation about it. Okay. So when I talk about the continuous series or the group data, so it represents a particular uh, frequency which can be fitted in a particular group. Like here, different groups have been made. 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65, 65 to 70. So this is a group. And this frequency represents the number of persons who can be put under this group. So this way, when the data is quite large, okay, and it's not possible to record each and every observation separately, then this method of using the group data is adopted, whereby a group is made and after that the observations are put into the group as per their characteristics. Okay, so this way we have understood what is basically the continuous series or the group data. Now, what is the meaning of this bivariate frequency distribution table? Why it is called bivariate? So, bi means two. Okay, when a frequency is representing two characteristics, so it's known as bivariate frequency distribution table. Like here, this x variable is representing weight. Okay, this x variable is representing weight and this y variable is representing height. Okay, and this is the frequency. All these are the frequency which are written over here. Okay, so this 4 when you are going to see, it's a frequency. Now it's representing the weight of those these 4 peoples are representing the weight who are between 90 to 100 lbs. Okay, and when we talk about this height, so this 4 people are representing the heights of those population who are coming under the height group of 50 to 55 inches. So this 4 is representing weight as well as height. Okay, this frequency is representing two characteristics, weight as well as height. That is why when the data is given in this form, so it's known as bivariate frequency distribution table. I hope you have understood the concept of group data and the bivariate frequency distribution table as well. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to start our question. Link of question would be shared with you on the description box in YouTube lectures. Okay, so let's understand the question first, then we will start with the answer. So what's the question? In question, it has been given that following is the distribution of students according to their height and weight. So these are the students and this data represents the distribution of students according to their height and weight. Okay, so here with the help of this data, what we have to do? We have to draw the two lines of regression and we have to find out the coefficient of correlation. So these two things that we have to do over here. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to prepare a preparation chart. Okay, like we used to prepare in the correlation analysis. So here, as we have been given bivariate frequency distribution table, so first of all we have to see how many groups are there in the x as well as y variable. So in our question we had seen we have been given 4 groups in x variable and 4 groups in y variables. So what we have done, we have derive a table of 5 into 5. Okay, see 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So we have made a table of 5 into 5 and then we have put the things that we need to calculate under this problem. So first of all we will have to calculate MB dxI. Okay, here I needs to be calculated because it's the continuous data, and whenever we have the continuous data, this I is important. I means the interval of X series, okay, and this I means the interval of Y series. So here, let's begin with the question. X means the group. We have been given group, okay. Now with the help of this, what we have to do? We have to calculate middle value. How do we calculate middle value? Lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So here 90 plus 100 divided by 2. It comes to 95. Okay. Then 100 plus 110 divided by 2. It comes to 105. Then 110 plus 120 divided by 2. It comes to 115. After that 120 plus 130 divided by 2. It comes to 125. Okay. So this way we have calculated the MV for the X series. MV means middle value. Now what is the next step? Next step is we have to find out dx. Dx means deviation from X series. For this, what we require? We require to find out the assumed mean. Okay. You can take any number as assumed mean, but here we are following a particular practice of taking the smallest number of series as assumed mean, so that calculation part can become easier for us. So here what is the smallest number? 95. So we are considering this 95 as our assumed mean. Okay. So what is the formula to find out the dx? So it is dx x minus a. Okay. So here x is the given item, that is 95, and a means assumed mean. So 95 minus 95, 0. 105 minus 95, 10. 115 minus 95, 20. 125 minus 95, 30. So this way here we have calculated dx, that is deviation from X series. Then we have to calculate I. Okay, values to be put under this I column, interval column. So what is the formula to calculate I? It's upper limit minus lower limit. What is the upper limit of the group? 100. What is the lower limit? 90. 100 minus 90, 10. So here I is equals to 10. Okay. For in order to put the values under this column, what we have to do? We have to do dx upon I. So 0 upon 10. It would be 0. 10 upon 10, 1. 20 upon 10, 2. 30 upon 10, 3. So this way we have completed the dx square column as I column as well. Okay. Now, first of all, what we have to do? We have to do this. We have to do the same with the y variable as well. Okay. So here we have to find out the mean values. 50 plus 55 divided by 2. So it comes to 50 plus 55 divided by 2. It comes to 52.5. Okay. 52.5. Then 55 plus 60 divided by 2. So it comes to 55 plus 60 divided by 2. It comes to 57.5. After that, 60 plus 65 divided by 2. It comes to 62.5. After that, 65 plus 70 divided by 2. It comes to 67.5. So this way we have calculated the MV, that is middle value, for the Y series as well. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate deviation from Y series. Okay. So how do we calculate it? Y minus assumed mean. So assumed mean, the smallest number of the series would be taken as assumed mean. So here it is 52.5. Okay. So we will take this 52.5 as assumed mean. So 52.5 minus 52.5, 0. 57.5 minus 52.5, 5. 62.5 minus 52.5, 10. 67.5 minus 52.5, 15. Now, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate I for the Y series. I means difference between upper limit and lower limit. What is the upper limit? 55. What is the lower limit? 50. 55 minus 50, 5. Okay. So this is the value of I. For calculating the values which needs to be put under the I column, what we will have to do? dy upon I. So what is the value of dy? 0. I 5. 0 by 5, 5. Then 5 by 5, 1. 10 by 5, 2. 15 by 5, 3. So this way what we have done, we have calculated the values to be put under this I column. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to make the total of the frequencies. Okay. Here the frequencies are given. First of all, we'll have to make total of it in order to find out the number of observations. So let's find out it for the X series first. Okay. So 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 3. It comes to 19. Okay. It comes to 19. After that, 7 plus 10 plus 12 plus 8. It comes to 37. Okay. After that, 5 plus 7 plus 10 plus 6. It comes to 28. After that, 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 3. It comes to 16. This way we have calculated the frequency for the items in the X series. Now what we'll have to do, we'll have to calculate the total of frequency for the Y series. Okay. So let's do it. 4 plus 7 plus 5 plus 2. 18. After that, 6 plus 10 plus 7 plus 4. 27. After that, 6 plus 12 plus 10 plus 7. 35. Okay. After that, 3 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3. It comes to 20. So this way we have made the total of the frequencies of different items. Now in order to calculate number of observations, we have to make the calculation of the total frequency of both series. This is for the X series and this is for the Y series. Okay. So let's do it. It's going to be AND. Okay. And it's going to be equal for both the series. So 18 plus 27 plus 35 plus 20. It comes to 100. We are going to do same for the Y series as well. Okay. So 19 plus 37 plus 28 plus 16. It again comes to 100. So number of observation is 100. Okay. Now what we have to do further? We have to compute this fdx square, ftx dy, fdy square and ftx dy. So for this, fdx means frequency into this dx, and the simplest form of this dx is I. Okay, so we are going to do multiplication of this total column of frequency x, okay, and this I. So 19 into 0, 0, 37 into 1, 37, then 28 into 2, 28 into 2, 56. After that, 16 into 3, 16 into 3. It comes to 48. Okay. Now we have to find out f dx square. So here it means f into dx square. Okay. So we cannot directly make the square of this f dx column to calculate f dx square. What we'll have to do, we'll have to take this column of f dx, then after this dx column, means the simpler form of dx column, that is I column. So here we will have to do f dx into dx. Okay. So 0 into 0. It will be 0. 37 into 1. 37. 56 into 2. 56 into 2. 112. Okay. 48 into 3. 48 into 3. 144. This way we have calculated f dx square as well. Okay. Now what is the next thing that we are going to do? We are going to find out f dy and f dy square. Okay. We are going to find f dy and f dy square. Okay. So let's find out f dy. It means frequency into dy. So this is the total of frequency, okay, for the X series, and dy means the simpler form of dy column, that is I. Okay. So 18 into 0, it will remain 0. 27 into 1, it will remain 27 into 1. 27 into 1, this will remain 27. Okay. After that 35 into 2, it will become 70. After that 20 into 3, it will become 60. Okay. So this way we have computed values to be put under FDY column. Then FDY square. Okay. FDY square. It means F into dy square. Okay. So we cannot directly put the square of FDY column in this. For this we are going to calculate FDY into dy, so that we can get FDY square. Okay. So this FDY column and this I column, because this I column is the simplest form of this dy column. So 0 into 0, 0. 27 into 1, 27. 70 into 2, 140. After that 60 into 3, 180. So this way we have calculated the values which needs to be put under the FDY square column. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate the FDX dy for both this series, X series and the Y series. For that, FDX dy means F into dx into dy. Okay. So for this frequency 4, how are we going to calculate FDX into dy? 4. Then this I column for the X series and the I column for the Y series. Why I column when the dx or the dy is written? Because I column is the simplest form of the deviation. Okay. So that is why let's begin. 4 into 0 into 0. It becomes 0. Then 6 into 1 into 0. Again 0. 6 into 2 into 0. Again 0. 3 into 3 into 0. So here again 0. Okay. After that 1 into 7 into 0 into 1. 0. 10 into 1 into 1. 10. 12 into 2 into 1. 24. After that 8 into 3 into 1. Again 24. Because 8 into 3, 24. And into 1, 1. Okay. 8 into 3 into. Now let's do it for this frequency. Okay. So 5 into 0 into 2. It will become 0. After that 7 into 1. 7 into 1 into 2. It will become 14. After that 10 into 2 into 2. 10 into 2, 20. 20 into 2, 40. After that 6 into 3. 6 into 3, 18. 18 into 2. 18 into 2, 36. Okay. After that 2 into 0 into 3. 0. 4 into 1 into 3. 12. Because 4 into 1, 4. And 4 3s are 12. Then 7 into 2, 14. 14 into 3, 14 into 3. 42. After that 3 into 3, 9. 9 into 3, 27. So this way we have made the calculation for the frequency, total of the frequency in order to calculate FDX dy. Now let's do it for the Y series. 0 into 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, 4. Then 10 plus 14 plus 12. 10 plus 14 plus 12. It comes to 36. After that 24 plus 40 plus 42. 24 plus 40 plus 42. It comes to 24 plus 40 plus 42. 24 plus 40 plus 42. It comes to 106. Okay. After that 24 plus 36 plus 27. It comes to 87. Okay. This way we have calculated FDX dy for the Y series. Now let's do this for the X series. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0. Then 10 plus 24 plus 24. 10 plus 24 plus 24. It comes to 58. Okay. 58. After that, 14 plus 40 plus 36. 14 plus 40 plus 36. It comes to 90. After that, 12 plus 42 plus 27. It comes to 81. Okay. This way we have calculated f dx dy for both the series, x series and the y series. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate summation of all these columns. So let's start with the summation f dx. Okay. 37 plus 56 plus 48. It comes to 141. After that, 37 plus 112 plus 144. It comes to 293. After that, 58 plus 90 plus 51. It comes to 58 plus 90 plus 81. It comes to 229. Okay, 229. Now we are going to do the summations for the y series. So let's start with summation f dy. Here 27 plus 70 plus 60. It comes to 157. Okay, 157. After that, 27 plus 140 plus 180. It comes to 347. Okay, 347. After that, 36 plus 106 plus 87. It comes to 229. Okay. Now, whether this bivariate frequency distribution is right or wrong, to decide that, to check that, we have one parameter. What is that parameter? Summation of f dx dy for the both series should be equal. Like here, summation of f dx dy for the x series come to 229, and the summation of f dx dy for the y series also comes to 229. These are equal, means this bivariate frequency table that we have made over here is correct. Okay. Now, as we have lack of space, so what we are going to do, we are going to note down the important things over here which we need to put under the formula, and then we are going to erase this table, and after that we will move forward. What we are going to require in this formula, we are going to require assumed mean. Okay, so assumed mean of x series is 95. After that, assumed mean for y series is 52.5. Okay, assumed mean for y series is 52.5. After that, we will need I of x series. So I of x series is 10. Okay, we have calculated over here. I of x series is 10. I of y series is 5. We have computed over here. After that, we will require summation f dx. Okay, summation f dx. F dx. It is 141. We will need summation f dx square. It is 293. We will need summation f dy. It is 157. After that, we will need summation f dy square, which is equals to 347. After that, we will require summation f dx dy. It's equals to 229. Okay, and we will require number of observations n. So it is 100. So these are the things which we need to compute the lines of regression and regression coefficients from the preparation chart. So we have noted it down. Okay, now we will move towards the calculation of the regression coefficient, and with the help of that coefficient of correlation and the lines of regression. So let's begin. First of all, we will do this for the regression line of x on y. After that, we will do it for the y on x. So let's start it for the x on y. Okay, x on y, regression coefficient for the x on y. Here what we are calculating? We are calculating bxy. So n into, here the formula will be changed because we have been given bivariate frequency distribution table. Okay, so it will become n into summation f dx dy yf, because frequency is also there. Earlier we didn't have frequency, so we used to take summation dx dy. Now we are having frequency, so we are multiplying frequency by each and every components. That is why n into summation f dx dy minus summation f dx into summation f dy. Okay, upon n into summation f dy square minus summation f dy whole square into interval of x series divided by interval of y series. Okay, so this way we have calculated, we have applied the formula for regression coefficient of x on y. Now we are going to put the values into this formula. What is the value of n? 100. Okay, what is the value of summation f dx dy? 229 minus summation f dx 141 into summation f dy 157. Okay, upon n 100, summation f dy square 347 minus summation f dy 157 whole square of this 157 into interval of x 10, interval of y 5. Okay, then 100 into 229, 22,900 minus 141 minus into 157, 141 into 157, it will come to 22,137. 22,137. After that, 100 into 347, 34,700. Okay, after that 157, square of 157, it will come to 24,649. 24,649 into 10 by 5. Okay, 10 by 5. So here 22,900 minus 22,173, it comes to 720. 22,900 minus 22,173, so it comes to 157. Square of 157 would be square of 141 into 157, it will come to 22,137. Okay, 137. So 22,900 minus 22,137, it comes to 763. Okay, 763 divided by 34,700 minus 24,649, so it comes to 1,051. Okay, sorry, 10,051. 10,051. So now it will become 763 into 10 by 5. Okay, into 10 by 5. So 763 divided by 10,051 is equal to 0.0759. 0.0759 into 10 by 5, 2. So 0.0759 into 2, it comes to 0.1518. 0.1518 1518. So this way we have calculated regression coefficient of x on y over here. Now what we have to do next? Next we have to compute mean for x series and the mean for y series. Okay. So let's compute the mean for x series first. What's going to be the formula to compute mean for x series? So it will be mean for x series. So it will be ax is equals to x plus summation f dx upon n into ix. Okay. What is the value of x? X means assume mean of x, 95. What is the value of summation f dx? Summation f dx is 141. What is the value of n? 100 into ix. I of x series, that is 10. Okay. Now 95 plus 141 divided by 100. 141 divided by 100, it comes to 1.41. 1.41 into 10. Okay. So 95 plus 1.41 into 10. It comes to 14.1. Then 95 plus 14.1. It comes to 109.1. So assume mean for the x series comes to 109.1. Okay. At the same time we are going to calculate mean for y series as well. So let's calculate mean for y series over here. Mean for y series. What's going to be the formula? A y is equals to y plus summation f dy upon n into I. So y would be, y means assume mean of y series which is 52.5. Summation f dy, summation f dy, it comes to 157. Number of observation 100 into I 5. I means interval of y series, so it's 5. Okay. So 52.5 plus 157 upon 100. 157 upon 100, it comes to 1.57. 1.57 into 5. So 52.5 plus 1.57 into 5. It comes to 7.85. 7.85. 52.5 plus 7.85. It comes to 60.35. 60.35. So here you can see that the assumed mean for y series has come to 60.35. Okay. Now what we will calculate? We will calculate regression equation for the x on y. Okay. X on y. So formula to compute regression equation for x on y is regression equation for x on y is x minus ax is equals to bxy into y minus ay. Okay. So here x would be as it is. Ax would come to 109.1 is equals to bxy. It is 0.1518 under bracket y minus ay would be 60.35. Okay. So x minus 109.1 is equals to 0.1518y minus 0.1518 into 60.35. 0.1518 into minus 60.35. Plus into minus minus. So it will become minus 9.16113. Okay. After that, x is equals to 0.1518y minus 9.16113 plus 109.1. Why plus? Because we are taking this value on the other side, and when the side changes, the sign also changes. Okay. x is equals to 0.1518y plus minus minus and the sign of big number, that is plus. So it will become minus 19 plus 99.93887. So this way we have computed the regression equation for x on y. Okay, now what we'll have to do, we'll have to calculate the regression equation for y on x as well. For that we will need the regression coefficient of y on x. Okay, first of all what we will do, we will note down this regression coefficient of x on y here, because it will be required to calculate coefficient of correlation. Okay, it is 0.1518. Now after this what we'll have to do, we'll have to find out the regression coefficient of y on x and regression equation for y on x. As we have lack of space, so I have to erase it. Okay, so let's start the procedure to find out the regression coefficient of y on x. Okay, regression coefficient of y on x. Mean of x series would be required. That is why we will write the mean of x series over here. Ax is equals to 109.1. 109.1. Okay. Now we will compute regression equation, regression coefficient of x on y. Y on x, because we have done this calculation for x on y. Okay, now what we will calculate, we will calculate y on x. Y on x, for this we are going to have the formula byx is equals to n into summation f dx dy minus summation f dx into f dy upon n into summation f dx square minus summation f dx whole square into interval of y upon interval of x. Why? Because we are computing it for the y on x. Okay. Now what we'll have to do, we'll have to put these values in the formula. So n 100, f dx dy 229 minus summation f dx 141 into summation f dy 157. After that upon n 100 summation f dx square 293 minus summation f dx whole square 141 whole square. So into interval of y 5, interval of x 10. Okay, so 100 into 229, 22,900 minus 141 into 157, 141 into 157, it will come to 22,137. 22,137. After that 100 into 293, 29,300. 29,300 minus 141 square, 19,881. 19,881 into 5 by 10. Okay, 22,900 minus 22,137, it comes to 763. After that 29,300 minus 19,881, it comes to 9,419. 29,300 minus 19,881, it comes to 9,419. Okay, 9,419 into 5 by 10. Then 763 divided by 9,419 equals to 0.0810. Okay, into 5 by 10, 0.5. So 0.0810 into 0.5. It comes to 0.0405. 0.0405. It is by(x). That is regression coefficient of y on x. Okay. Now what we'll have to find? Now we'll have to find regression equation for x on y. Okay. Regression equation for y on x. So for that we'll have to apply a formula. What is that formula? Regression equation of y on x. So for this we'll have to apply a formula, that is y minus ay is equals to byx into x minus ax. Okay, what is the then we have to put the values. Y minus ay, what is the value of ay? 60.35. 60.35 is equals to b by x, 0.0405 into x minus ax. What is the value of ax? 109.1. After that, y minus 60.35 is equals to 0.0405 into x would be 0.0405, x minus into plus minus. Okay, so 0.0405 into 0.0405 into 109.1. It comes to 4.41855. Okay, so now y is equals to 0.0405x minus 4.41855 plus 60.35. Why plus? Because we are changing the side of that value, and when the side changes, the sign also changes. That is why plus 60.35. So y is equals to 0.0405x minus plus minus and the sign of big number. Big number is plus. Okay, so it will come to plus 55.9315. Okay, plus 55.9315. So this way we have 55.93145. So this way we have computed, we have derived the regression equation of y on x as well. Okay, now what we'll have to do, we'll have to find the coefficient of correlation. In problem what we have been asked, we have to find out the regression equation for both the lines of regression, that is x on y and y on x. We have done it here. After that, what we'll have to find out, we'll have to find out the coefficient of correlation. So according to the property of regression analysis, there is the relationship between the coefficient of correlation and the coefficient of regression. What is that relationship? Coefficient of correlation is equals to the geometric mean of coefficient of regression. That is why by using this property we can compute the coefficient of correlation with the help of coefficient of regressions, which is available with us in the problem. Okay, so r is equals to under root bxy into byx. It means coefficient of correlation is equals to the geometric mean of coefficient of regression. Okay, what is the value of bxy? 0.1518 into byx 0.0405 is equals to, now what we'll have to do, we will have to make the computation of it. So 0.1518 into 0.0405, it comes to 0.0061479. Okay, now we will have to take out the under root of this. Okay, so it comes to 0.0784. Okay, so r value of r comes to 0.0784. 0.0784. So this way we have found out the coefficient of correlation as well. So this way we have completed this entire problem of the type 3. In next lecture we are going to deal with the next problem. Please keep going through the previous lectures as well so that you can understand the further concept. And in case of any doubts or queries, please contact us. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to the YouTube channel for enhancing your knowledge. Thank you so much.